Okay, so now you have seen how to use or how to write Boolean expressions, okay, how to use Boolean operators to write Boolean expressions. Now let's see how we can use these Boolean expressions and operators to write code that can make decisions, okay. And the first type of code that we will talk about uses single alternative decisions, okay. And if you had to visualize this, if you had to visualize the flow of the code, it looks like a detour, okay. So you have some code, okay, you have some code which goes on and on and on sequentially, and then it comes to a point where it has to make a decision. It has to make a decision, right? Now if the decision is false, if the result of that condition, right, of that condition that is used to make that decision, if the result of that condition is false, it goes on, right, it goes on as usual. If the result is true though, what it does is it does it goes in a detour, right, it goes here, okay. It performs some other work. So imagine, there are steps in between that you do, right? So these are like statements that you execute, right, till you come to this point where you have to make this decision. And if that decision is false, you go on and then you perform the rest of the statements in your program, right? If on the other hand the decision is true, if this is true, if the result of that condition is true, you go on a slight detour, okay, and you execute the set of steps in that detour until you come back and join the main route where you left it, okay. So this statement would be executed no matter what, okay, like regardless of whether or not you make that detour, this statement will be executed, okay. These set of statements would be executed based on the decision that you take in this point, okay. So that's how single alternative decisions work. So let's see how we can use this in a program and how to actually program this. So single alternative decisions are programmed using the if keyword, okay. And the general form is if some condition, okay, if condition and then a colon, okay. So this is a Python reserved keyword. It's a Python keyword. You have to write if in like this way. So using small alphabets, okay, no capitalizations or anything. So if is a Python keyword. The next thing is you have a condition. Now this condition can be a boolean literal, it can be a boolean variable, or it can be a boolean expression. So any of these can be a condition, okay. So anything that evaluates to either a true or a false would be in this condition, okay. So if condition and then you need a colon, this is mandatory, okay. Then in the next line, when you come to the next line, you always have to go to the next line, you will hit a tab. This is again mandatory, okay. Tab or even space would do, but generally tab is the preferred option, okay. That's what programmers prefer. So I'm sorry, you come to the next line, you hit tab once, okay, you hit tab once. In some cases, the IDE, the integrated development environment, will hit the tab for you, okay. But just make sure that there is a space or there is a tab between the start of the if and from where you start executing the next line, okay. And from that, okay, after that tab, you'll have a statement or a block of statements, okay. You'll have a statement or a block of statements. Now which is to say you can have a single statement such as if true, right. Then you have after a tab you have statement 1, I'll just say st1 for statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, right, like so. Or you can just have a single statement like if true, statement 1, that's it, okay. So you can have either one statement or multiple statements, but all of these statements that you want to execute if that condition is true should be after a tab. They should be indented. Okay, there should be an indent. Now, once you are done with that, you can delete that. You can de-indent, I guess, right? So you come back to the original indentation, original column position, which is here, right? And then you continue with the rest of the program. So whatever you code here would be would be executed regardless of this condition. Okay. So the way this works is you have you do some stuff, right? You do some you execute some statements, and then you make a decision. You make a decision at this point, and the decision is based on this condition. Okay, the value of this condition. The condition can be a literal, a variable, or an expression. Okay. Now, if that condition evaluates to true, then you execute a set of statements. Okay. If that condition is evaluated to true, you go there, right, and then execute either one statement or multiple statements. Okay. And then what you do is you come back. You come back and join, and then you carry on with the rest of the program. So whatever you want in this path right here must be indented, okay, which is to say must be tabbed, must be tab indented. Okay. So for every statement in this path, you must follow them with a tab, okay, with a tab. And then once you get rid of that tab, every statement from then on would be part of this path, would be part of this path. Okay.